Okay, this is part 2 of the beach theme scrapbook. Boy, I can't talk today. This is the page we did, and after we finished, I decided I wasn't satisfied with it. So I added some of these embellishments from Buttons Galore and More. And I put those, there's sequins and beads and buttons. So I added those, and I also used some dimensionals. These are Nouveau Crystal Drops, and I just put some drops around. And then I decided to make a label for this page, Heart of the Ocean, so I put some of the drops here. And I've just now sprayed these two pieces with some Tattered Angels Glimmer Mist. This color is Sunlight. So I think, I don't want a whole lot of dimension to this because I'm putting tags in this pocket, but I think I'm going to go ahead and pop these out just a little bit. So I'm going to put some dimensionals on. And I don't know if you know this, don't ever throw this thing away that you get your dimensionals off of, because you can almost always find a place where you can use it. Save you a little bit of money. So I'm still not sure if I'm satisfied with this page, but I think by the time, get on there, by the time we use, by the time we insert the tags and photo mats, it'll be okay. So I'm gonna hold off and see what I think near the end. I usually sort of build the structure, you know, the black part first, and then I add the decorative pages on top of that, and then the functional things like pockets. And it takes me quite a while. I keep going back and adding more decorative elements and embellishments as I go. I know a lot of people have their plan from the beginning. They're probably the people who've always scrapbooked. I actually don't scrapbook. I like to make the books, and I don't necessarily always put them together. I think my husband and I have been married 8 years, and I don't have our scrapbook from our wonderful honeymoon put together yet. So that's my guilty secret. These are not as thick as some, but that's what I want. I don't want it popped out too much. And it needs to go over to the right, remember, because we're leaving the left for the holes for the ring binder. I'll put that like that. I hope you can see the shimmer there. I also took my circle punch and just punched one side. I only like to punch the front, so I just punched a half circle there for when we slide the big photo mat in. Now, so let's flip this page over, and we're going to work on the back part. So I've decided I wanted a couple of things on this back part. First off, I want a fold-out page. So it's gonna hook in here like this inside the pocket, and then it's going to fold over. I've already cut some of the sheets so that you didn't have to watch me cut that. So it's going to fold over like this. So it needs to be a little shorter. I like mine a little shorter than the actual length of the page, so that there's no interference there with the rings. And then when it opens, I think what I'd like to do is have an insert with some more pockets, so that this is not one page. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sides plus the outsides. So this can become quite a complicated page if you'd like for it to. So let me show you with the beige paper. I've already cut it. And this is what we're going to be doing. You've got to have a 12 by 12 sheet, and I'm laughing because I told you only to get the 8 by 8. There was not a black 12 by 12 sheet in this house to be had. I was so upset, but then I found one. It's raining today. I didn't want to go out and in the rain. But what we're going to do is we're going to take the 12 by 12 sheet, and I'm going to show you how to cut it so that you have 2 triangular pockets on each side. So you'll have this pocket and this one on each side, and it's just going to fold inside of this other fold like that. So let's get started on that one. Oh, let me give you the dimensions for this first. My actual page itself is 7 inches wide and 8 1/4 inches tall. So the first sheet, the one that's going to have the flap on it, it's actually got the flap on the other side too. So you have to add a 1/2 inch on each side. So cut your sheet 7 1/2 by 8 1/4, okay? And then score it on each side at a 1/2 inch. Now this flap is going to fit down inside the pocket that we already made. Okay, and we'll do that in just a second. And your other flap is going to fit onto your second sheet. Now it's not going to be as wide so that it folds nicely. This sheet is going to be 6 1/4 wide. No, it isn't. Excuse me. Yeah, it is. It's 6 1/4. And it's still 8 1/4 inches tall. The height is going to be the same. But when you fold it, it's going to fold nicely inward and leave room for the hinge. So go ahead and put your score tape on your left side 1/2 inch and place this sheet over it and smooth that down. Okay. And let me grab, I've got the wrong score tape. Hold on just a second. Okay, I like to use the thinner score tape for this. Put it on the inside, the side facing you. And it doesn't have to be perfect, obviously. You could even, if you want to be really, really secure, go ahead and put 2 side by side, or go ahead and use your 1/2 inch tape. Make sure none is sticking out on the edge or it'll catch your photo mat when you are sliding it in and out. And remove the covering and then just slide that in. Lining up the fold with the edge. Let's burnish it down. Make sure it fits. Now we're going to make the inner part. This is my very special single piece of paper. And what I'm going to do is score this at 6 inches. Hopefully you have a bigger scoring board than I do. Well, scored at 6, and I have to flip mine around to get the whole shebang, so you may not have to do that. Then I want you to take the paper and rotate it and make a score at 6 again that's going to intersect with your first one. And again, you may not have to flip around like I do. All right, now, so the pockets that we're making are going to fold up from the bottom so that we only have to tack them down on one side. They're already connected on the bottom. So here we are going to cut on the diagonal. Just cut from the corner up to the other corner. And you could do this the other way. I'm cutting out the center section. You could cut out the other and have your pockets inside instead of outside. Okay, sorry, family interruption. So now we have our pockets, and I actually don't do any folding. You could go ahead and snip and fold under your edge, but I think this edge is absolutely fine for me. So I'm going to add some more of the score tape. And now you have a 6x6 insert. And if you put too much, that's the nice thing about score tape, you can just peel it off. I leave probably 1/8 of an inch out at the edge, just because. You could always put yours straight over to the edge if you like. And if you find anything's hanging over, you know, if your corner's hanging over, if your tape's hanging over, just grab your scissors and cut it so that it's even. My trash can isn't cooperating. It won't open. I'm just going to throw the lid in the floor. And I did the same thing again, didn't I? Now, and then what I do, because I hate wasting things, is I take these other triangles and I make a second pocket. The way I do that is first I just cut this on that score line that we made earlier. And then I score the two shorter sides at 1/4 inch. Then you always want to cut off this corner so you don't have too much behind. Then you'll take that and fold it and you'll have an edge sticking up. So you snip that. Well, snip it better than that. And then you'll have a second, slightly shorter pocket that fits right on top of the first one. And this is really handy for just smaller tags. Maybe you'll have your photo mats here and your tags here or whatever. It's really cute and it adds a lot of extra storage space in a really small area. So now let's go ahead and do that second one. Again, score it at 1/4. And flip it, and score it at 1/4. Snip the corner and fold. And snip the edges that stick out. Now, I'm going to speed the camera up, I think, for a minute. And what we're going to do is add score tape on these edges and then stick the two pockets onto the other pockets. All right, there are your 2 pockets. Now I went ahead and cut out the sheets that are going to fit in there. So that one's a little large, so let's trim it down. I'm just going to take about a 1/4 inch off the edge. I cut them all 6 by 6, but that wasn't really what they needed to be. This is done. We just want to take our folded one now and put the decorative papers on it. I think for this side, I want it to be like the other side, matching that one. This one is 5 3/4 by 8 inches. And I was just thinking about, these are some die cut frames that I had laying around, and I was thinking about using them on this page. So I think what I'll do is distress them with the vintage photo ink right here on the edge. If you don't use these finger-sized daubers, they are worth their weight in gold. So I strongly recommend that you go ahead and get some of those. They're just so much easier to apply it evenly. I did ink most of my pages. I see that I've forgotten to ink these that I've put on here. But I have inked almost everything for this project. So I don't know if I said it or not, but be sure and ink your pages. Yeah, I like that look a lot better than just the plain. So, and sometimes, you know, instead of this vintage photo, I'll use a very dark shade of blue. I have a couple of them. The Stampin' Up! One is, I believe, called Denim Blue, and I really like it. So I'll give you a link to that one. But blue, just, you know, it's kind of a surprising color, but it looks really neat. So I think I'll put those. And I also have some tags that I punched out just with this, it's a Marvy punch, and here's the tag that it makes. I thought maybe one of those would go nicely here, if it isn't too similar. I don't know. Maybe I like that better. So let's put some. This is just this little seahorse picture. It actually says Marine Studies on it, and it's just a piece of the paper from the Paper Studio stack. And then what I've done with it is I glued it down to some cardboard, some chipboard, and then I sealed it over. That wasn't even glossy accents. I think this was diamond glaze, but it does the same thing. So let's just tack these down. And These will be just for some smaller photos, or, you know, so many times there's something in a photo you want to cut out, and these give you the opportunity to just cut the piece you want and leave behind what you don't want. I do have some flowers. Boy, that's still all that same color. That's too big. I did 2 sizes of flowers, and I'm going to do a video and show you how to do these. This size was based on a 2-inch, and they just seem a little large to me. So this size was a 1.5, and it's the right size, but they're all the color of this paper so far. What I had done with these others is I spritzed them with glimmer mist. So, whoops. So, I think I'll just come back to that with some flowers. So for now, I'm going to leave this page alone. Now, when you open it, I already went ahead and stuck some stickers. These are just old stickers. I mean, old stickers that I had. I think they're from K & Company. This page will actually hold a 5x7 photo, which is really, really nice if you have a special photo, or maybe while you're on vacation you had one of those professional pictures made. So I went ahead and stuck those there, and they have this matching edge that I thought, gosh, that just looks great there. And so I've put that. Now on this page, I'm going to put a title up here that says Swimming with the Fish. And then I'll put a fish. And again, this fish is one of my shapes that you'll find on the sheet. And I went over him with, in case you can't tell, I've been trying different mediums. So I painted over him with gel medium. It's just a very, very light shine. So I'm going to do Swimming with the Fish and do some shells down here. And that way you could put a photograph in between, or you could just cover it all up if you didn't like what is here. So I think I'm going to use glue on some of these because they've got these little edges that stick out. This is just my Scotch Quick Dry Glue, which is usually my go-to. It does dry fairly quickly. You have to hold it for just a couple of seconds, and then it dries. Swimming with the Fish really ought to have a background. So let's get some black paper. Now, I don't know about you, but I save every little piece that I cut off while I'm working, and then if I need one, I've got one handy. So let's go ahead and make a, what do you call it, a mat for Swimming with the Fish. Mine usually come out crooked. I always joke that by the time I get done there won't be anything left. And I'm not kidding, actually. Make sure you mop up your excess glue, or it will kind of dry shiny. This shell, I was just playing around, and I did the micro beads. They're called gold. It's sort of a dark gold color, really. But I was just trying to see what sort of a surface I could get with the different textures. Okay, so that page is done. Now, I made this pocket without telling you. It was a secret. This was just one of those shells, and like I said, I'm kind of annoyed with the shells because they all seem to be the same color. So what I did was I took the copper colored Nouveau crystal drops and drew around it. You could even use stickles if you want to. And And I put some dots, just random, and some stripes on it. Then I took the glossy accents, which looks like this, and I filled it in. It was I let that dry a bit, and then I filled it in, and it was really easy to fill in because that edge sort of acted like a barrier. And then I sprinkled, I got these Recollections, they're called Fun in a Jar, and I took that middle one, that's just some little glitter sprinkles, and I sprinkled them into the glossy accents while it was still wet, planning to make that a pocket. Well, you know me, I've got to back it with something. So at this point, I'm going to glue that onto a mat, and I did ink the edges also. I'm going to glue it on a mat. I'm going to put it here like that, and it's going to be a tag pocket. You could even put something secret in there if you wanted to. So I think I'll use the tape glider on this one. And as you see, it did bleed through. The color bled through because I put so much glossy accents. You really don't have to fill it up like I did. So the next time I'll not use as much. Everything to me is an experiment. I'm always trying new things. Sorry, you can't even see that. I hate when people do that. Okay, this one will have to stick down a little better. This is more of those corner edge things. I just stuck them on. I don't know why. And if you can't find your bone folder, mine is still AWOL, so take something else. Take this, for example, and just smooth everything down. Okay. And I have these little tags, so I think I'll stick one in there like that. Yeah, that's very cute. And I'm going to put just a bit of the glue onto this, probably because they're older, they're not sticking as well. Now, on the back of this is those 3 pockets that we made earlier on, and I did go ahead, I went to my Cricut machine and I cut out some tags, but when I haven't used the Cricut in the past, I just, you know, grab that scrap paper and I make little tags and mats. I usually put something on the back as well. Let's see. Well, didn't do a good job of that, did I? Yeah, these have something on the back. So some of these I've stamped, and that's a stamp. This was, I tried a stencil. It didn't work real well. I was thinking there was something else. Anyway, so you're going to take the taller ones, which is this size, and slide it into the back pocket, like so. And then put the shorter ones in the front, in the smaller pocket, something like that. See, now see how cute that is? And it was very quick. And you can bling this out with some of your shells. I really like 3. 3 looks so much better than 2, don't you think? Maybe not all the same color though. There we go. About that one. So let's glue these down. Go. And on this page, I actually messed up. I forgot that I had made this for another page, so I'm going to put it here. It says Just Beachin'. And you could use this frame for a picture. You could just glue your picture right down over the top of the Just Beachin' if you wanted to. So let's, I think I like it just like that, no shells or anything. This is a triple frame that I made, and I did it on the Cricut machine. I actually just placed 3 of those together